We were doing the episode called The Chaperone, which turned out to be my first episode. When I sat down on the table read, it was like I was overwhelmed. I'm thinking to myself, I'm sitting here with the greatest comedy cast possibly ever in television.
I fell into a comfort level with Andy Ackerman within 10 minutes of working with him. And I remember Larry coming down to the set and saying, "How's it going? How's it going?" behind the set. And I said, "It's absolutely fantastic. He's divine."
I was very much at home with him from the day one.
He had to fit in well with the cast, and he had to fit in well with Larry. And Andy was, he was so seamless in his ability to blend in with everybody, let everybody kind of do what they wanted to do, but just gently always steer everything in a good direction.
Very quietly, he would say, "Well, what would happen if you had the refrigerator open there?" And we'd go, "Oh, yeah." You know, and it was little suggestions that would drop in, and we said, you know, we very quickly went, this guy's got a funny sensibility himself.
Andy sort of could get out of the way, but when it was time to get in, he knew exactly what to get to.
He had a great personality to be around, great temperament, and I thought it'd be a great fit for us.
And we suddenly had a fifth team member.
The first thing Jerry brought up when he asked how I like to direct, one of the first things he asked me was, "Do you like to laugh?" And I said, "I love to laugh." He goes, "Because we like it when people laugh."
And if you, in rehearsal, heard his laugh, you knew for sure it was working, for sure.
And so I was like a kid in a candy store.
We loved working with Andy. He was amazing, and I sometimes fear that I almost killed him because he was always up to do anything. I said, you know, we could do a great scene if we could just find a couple of more hours, if we could just get out onto a highway, you know, or maybe we could paint a highway in the parking lot, and then we could have this sewing machine that would get caught under Newman's truck and explode into flames, and he would say, "We can do it."
He would be willing to try anything.
Larry said, you know, if it feels like too much, you know, if you don't think we can pull this off in the 3 or 4 days, let us know. But to me, it was just a wonderful challenge to be able to do that.
When you were in the presence of Andy, everything was going to get done.
He always wanted to go to any length to make every episode this special thing.
The big challenge for me was I was coming at the peak of the popularity of the show. I mean, it was just crazy how popular the show was.
I think he always felt that he was participating in something historic, which I never did, and I don't know if anybody else ever did on the show, but, you know, we're just doing our show.
There's something wrong with this copying machine. It's all coming out slanted. Now, I don't know if this is your department or not.
Justin Pitt, this is Elaine Bennis.
I think of him as Mr. Pitt. I called him Mr. Pitt.
Justin Pitt.
Larry came up to me and said, "What would you think if Elaine worked for him this was her new job?" And I thought, hey, that sounds like fun, you know, to play sort of the groveling part to this nut job.
Well, he took one look at her. He said, "Here's somebody I can really control." I said to Larry, I said, "But I'm worried." He said, "What are you worried about?" I said, "I don't want to do too much." And he looked at me, he said, "Have you ever seen the show?" It's good, but...
But what?
Ultimately, I don't think they'll stay up.
No, they'll stay up.
For a while, yes, but not in the long run.
But that's why I got you the tighter ones.
Oh, forget about those. Why do you keep mentioning those?
What do you want?
I want a decent sock that's comfortable, that'll stay on my foot.
We did a location couple scenes out at Anaheim Stadium in the Angels locker room with the Yankees. And it was a scene that involved Jason where he was giving batting tips to Danny Tarble, I think it was. And Buck Showalter was there. And it was very exciting, not only because I'm a huge baseball fan, but what a great way to start out my foray into Seinfeld.
I was sitting in the editing room, and I was going to go out to get something to eat, and I asked our editor what she wanted, and she said she'd like a big salad.
So Janet Ashikaga, who's our editor, had ordered a big salad. Carol, my assistant, brings her the big salad.
I had bought the salad, and Carol handed it to her, and and she thanked Carol.
And Larry is upset that he doesn't get credit for making sure she got the big salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have the big salad!
And I thought, you know, I bought the damn salad.
When I started, they revealed the new New York Street. And when I saw that, it was fantastic.
When we started, our New York Street was literally 3 storefronts adjacent to the CBS commissary.
This little alleyway, and we created whatever we needed to do in that little space.
After the 1994 earthquake, Seinfeld was going to move to Paramount.
And they had a New York backlot, and the show was starting to get bigger. So I went over there, and we looked at stages, and we looked at the facilities there, and it just didn't seem feasible.
We needed to, you know, be able to walk out our back door, shoot for a day, and be done with it.
We didn't have the ability to book a lot or a location weeks in advance. We had to be able to go there the next day if Larry and Jerry had written a scene, and we needed to do that.
The studio said, wait a second, we can fix the stage, and we'll build you a street if you stay here. So that would gave us the seed money to design and build New York Street.
Tom Mazzari brought in from New York the stairwells and the light posts and everything to make it as authentic as possible. And it's a very small area, so we really had to create this world in a very confined area.
The original street was designed after Columbus Avenue in the 80s to give it a local neighborhood look that really fit Seinfeld to a T. This is one of the manholes we designed, and it shows the date, 1994. Mike Klossman, who's the head of the studio, Al Elena, myself, Lou Montejano, and Chuck, the construction foreman, who built the street. It's a practical manhole. It's 6 foot deep, so actors can go in and out of the manhole if we had that for scripts. It's also rigged for steam to give it a real New York look. The whole street is rigged for steam, and it's also rigged for rain, so we can make it rain on either side of the street, whatever is desired. It's a very small street. It's not very long, it's not very wide, but on camera it looks enormous. And the whole idea is that you never really shoot the entire street at one time. You're only seeing bits or sides.
One thing that helped is I would shoot a lot with a long lens. Literally take the camera at the end of one street and just shoot down the sidewalk. And that way you didn't see a lot of the facades. You would, you know, mix it up with different atmosphere, but it cloaked a lot of things. So it made, it gave us a lot of mileage that it could be any street anywhere in New York.
Each episode of Seinfeld was like a mini movie, and we would get scripts 3, sometimes 2 days before we were actually shooting, and we'd add 10 sets and have to do it over a weekend, literally. So a lot of things are, you know, Jerry, Larry, we cannot build that set, we don't have time. Well, we'll shoot it outside, and we could walk out the back door and you're in New York City.
Hey, watch it! Did you see that guy? He just gave me the finger.
You sure?
Oh, yeah! Middle finger straight up at me. At us.
What are you doing?
I'm following him.
You know, that happened to me when I came back from Hawaii. I was getting on the on-ramp, and here we'd been in Hawaii for 10 days, all nice and rested, and my wife and kids were asleep, and this guy flipped me off, and I didn't have any place to go, so I followed him for about an hour.
No one gives us the finger. We're Yankees.
What's last donut?
Oh, you can have it.
We talked about a guy we knew at college who ate his Snickers bar with a knife and fork, and Larry said, oh, you should put that in the show.
Larry said, we're going to put a Snickers bar, and I had to take it out of my pocket, take the wrapper off, put it on a plate, and cut it into pieces. It's hard to chew and talk, but Larry said, well, take a piece and swallow it. We don't have 20 minutes for you to cut and eat a Snickers bar. So I swallowed and cut another piece. I think I went through 4 Snickers bars. I haven't eaten one since. The day after the show aired, I was in a restaurant, minding my own business, having lunch, reading a newspaper. And I was really engrossed in what I was reading, and I'd finished my meal, and the waiter came and he took the plate away. And I was waiting for my coffee, and like this, and all of a sudden, I looked up and he came towards me. He had a plate with a Snickers bar on it, and he put it in front of me. The whole restaurant was in on the joke. I mean, that's when I knew, you know, I mean, this was only on last night.
Of course, when I read the script for The Couch, I wasn't aware, really, of how everything dovetailed and blended into the abortion issue.
I just love the parallel with making your own pizza.
Whether or not a pie is a pie, before or after it comes out of the oven.
I mean, the fact that it was about abortion, you definitely couldn't get away with that in prime time today.
Yeah, not too much.
And cucumbers.
Wait a second. What is it that?
It's cucumbers.
No. You can't put a cucumbers on a pizza.
Well, why not? I like cucumbers.
That's not a pizza. It'll taste terrible.
Yeah, but that's the idea. You make your own pie.
Yes, but we cannot give the people the right to choose any topping they want. Now, on this issue, there can be no debate.
What gives you the right to tell me how I would make my pie?
Because it's a pizza.
It's not a pizza till it comes out of the oven.
It's a pizza the moment you put your fist in the dough.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
What I remember very well is that I didn't know what troglodyte meant. And I had to look it up when I got the script.
I think about you all the time.
You do?
Do you think about me?
Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time. Although, recently I've been thinking about this friend of mine.
What friend?
Oh, just this woman. She got impregnated by her troglodytic half-brother and decided to have an abortion.
You know, someday we're gonna get enough people in the Supreme Court to change that law.
David James Elliott became a series lead in JAG, and that was really his first audition, I think, after he moved here from Chicago.
Hi, Poppy.
Hello.
I'm sorry about the gift. I didn't know about your condition.
Oh, that's fine. If you just give me my doc money, I'll be on my way.
Okay.
When Poppy comes over to sit down, there's a newspaper covering the spot. So I just walked over.
I want you to sit down, Poppy. You're still recuperating.
I just slipped the paper over to the side, turned, and sat on the preset wet spot.
Were you tired, Poppy?
No. I've been in this business for about 40 years. And I guess the biggest laugh I ever got, I was off stage at the time, which was the discovery of the wet spot on the couch.
Is it? Could it? Could he have? It is! Poppy peed on my sofa!